God is good. And because he is so good, we are loved. All the time. God is good. But we are not good all the time. See, left to our own devices, we can be some bad apples. And sometimes we can produce some bad fruit. But through God's goodness and his mercy, he made a way that we can still have relationship with him. Now, we are good to the core because of redemption. It's not about how bad we can be. It's about how good God is and how he took a sinner like you and a sinner like me, and he created us for a purpose. We're talking about it all. The good, the bad, the wins, the losses, life, love, and all of the above. This is the Bad Apples Podcast.
Oh, yeah. The crackling fire in the background of all that, you know. Yeah, I'm glad that you didn't try to add like jingle bells or something in.
Yeah.
You know, this is.
I've tried to do that before.
I know you have.
Yeah.
I know you have.
But hey, we're back at it like a crack at it.
Yeah,
you hear me?
That's right. Oh, what the heck? Why do you say the things you say?
My brain just happens to do things, and sometimes I can't stop it before it comes
Well,
out.
this is the Bad Apples Podcast, where sometimes,
Yeah.
you know, stupid things are said.
Sorry, y'all.
That's okay.
It rhymed though.
It did kind of, kind of.
How kind of?
Addict, at it.
Back at it like a crack addict.
I don't know. I don't like it. But you're the rapper. I'm not.
Kendrick would like it.
Kendrick would like it. Yeah, jeez. That might be reaching too. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
anyway, hey, we're glad that you're here. We are getting ready to go into my favorite holiday of the year, which is Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it is your favorite.
I love Thanksgiving.
It's amazing.
Absolutely love Thanksgiving.
I want to tell you something.
Okay.
I want to share this with you on the podcast. Okay. So I'm going to share a heartfelt moment with you. I've always loved Thanksgiving.
Okay.
All right. It's not that I haven't loved it.
Sure.
But I've always looked at it as the lesser of the holiday. All the holidays, you know, between Christmas and Thanksgiving.
Yep.
And also, my family, we always just did a small Thanksgiving.
Okay.
With us. And it was never anything any more than that. And I remember, you know, it's my first year knowing you in Illinois, and we did the podcast together, and you're talking up Thanksgiving, and I just remember like that time going to your house the first time, going to your parents' house, and then enjoying Thanksgiving. It really changed my view on Thanksgiving.
That's a win.
And now,
One for the good guys.
and now I have been so stoked
Yeah.
about Thanksgiving.
I love Thanksgiving.
And like, man, it just pumps me. I've been pumped up all month.
And I would say even, you know, like one of the things that I'm not out here saying that Thanksgiving is better than Christmas, but I want to encourage people, instead of breezing by Thanksgiving and going into Christmas, like at my house, I was just telling you before I came over here to record the podcast, I was setting up Christmas lights outside.
Yeah.
You know, and we've got the Christmas tree up, and we did Christmas is huge at Hope this year. So we were doing big stuff all week long. I mean, Jackson and I, we were siding a barn all day.
Wow.
All day. A barn that's on the stage.
Wow.
We did that on, what day was that? Was that Wednesday? Yeah, Wednesday.
I'm so pumped.
Yeah, I got a nail gun.
Yes,
You
you
know,
did.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. So anyway, I mean, I love Christmas, and I'm not saying, you know, that
Right.
people that celebrate Christmas or start honoring Christmas ahead of Thanksgiving are doing it wrong.
Yes,
But
don't come at me.
But I'm saying that, you know, take some time and enjoy this holiday, 'cause it's special and it's good.
Yeah. You know what
Special is good.
someone told me, or I think it was someone telling me, they're like, I can't do that. I can't speed past Thanksgiving. I have to slow it down. And I'm not putting any decorations up until after Thanksgiving, because I'm slowing it down.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, so my view is I'm not trying to speed up Christmas. Me putting all my Christmas decorations up early is actually me extending it and slowing it down. Because to me, it goes by so fast that I lose it.
Yeah.
And I lose that time, because once December hits, I feel like, man, it's just boom, 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 and it's over.
Yeah.
So what I do is because it makes me feel like I'm home when I have all of the Christmas and so I try to slow it down, because I also know that when I go home, it's going to be a quick trip. It's going to, you know, it's not forever. It's not a long trip. So it's just, you know, it's going to feel like it's here and gone.
Yep.
So I got to try to extend that.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure, I get that. And, the other thing, the other side of that I discovered last week as we were setting up our Christmas tree was that my kids think that Christmas is like
Yes.
the next thing.
Absolutely.
And because when you do decorate and you do all that other stuff, and if you look at like the history of people setting up trees and stuff, they would do their trees way closer to Christmas than we
for
do.
sure.
Because,
for sure.
That was just, it was a way of honoring and celebrating the day. Now, when it comes to outdoor lights, I'm setting them up as early as I can. Yeah. Number one, because it's cold.
Yeah. And
Number
it's hard
two,
work.
it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work
for a short window.
Yeah,
if you don't have them up long. Anyway,
I tried to get the lights and I was like, this is too much. This is too much work. So I'm just going to hang them up in the podcast basement.
That's right. We got some red and white, beautiful lights.
Throw some audio or not audio, Aldi inflatables up in the front yard and just be happy. But yeah, man, you're right. Like some people who are really strict Advent celebrators, they don't put up a Christmas tree until, like Christmas time.
Yeah.
Like where it's like you got Advent where you're waiting and you're supposed to be in the dark. You're not supposed to put up any lights if you're like officially really following Advent. And then, then you put up your Christmas tree and then you leave it up throughout Epiphany, which is like, I think 12 days after Christmas or starting on Christmas.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I can't do that.
No, but we are recognizing Thanksgiving. But before we do get to the part where we're recognizing Thanksgiving, we're going to talk about Thanksgiving in this episode.
Oh yeah,
we're going to kind of preview what we're going to be doing throughout the Christmas season, because I think that some of our best podcast episodes have been in the Christmas time.
Yeah,
and
the single most consistently listened to episodes throughout the year are our Christmas episodes.
Yeah,
I promise you.
The Christmas Carol series that we did was so fun.
Yeah, and you know what one is listened to a lot? I heard the Bad Apples on Christmas Day.
Really?
The little short 30-minute one we released on Christmas Day,
because it was just 30 minutes.
And you did the sermon for that. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, you did your sermon that you preached on Christmas Eve.
That's right.
You did that one, and that's still the most listened to Christmas episode I think we have. So
that's cool.
Yeah, I still see it pop up in our listens. And we broke 5,000 downloads, bro.
Crazy. I can't believe it.
Who are you people?
Can't believe it. Can't believe it. But hey, one of the things that we do is we talk about coffee.
Yeah, we do.
Before we talk about Thanksgiving, we do have some Christmas coffee here.
We do have some Christmas coffee.
And it is the kind of coffee that I'm always outspoken against, which is flavored coffee.
Yes.
But tell us what we're drinking here.
Yes, it is Bones coffee. Now listen, if I'm going to do flavored coffee, it has to be Bones coffee.
Okay.
I don't like usually any other flavored coffee brands other than Bones coffee.
Gotcha.
And this is their holiday sample pack.
Ooh.
And this was the Sugar Rush.
Sugar Rush,
which was
supposed to taste like a sugar cookie.
It's supposed to taste like a sugar cookie.
I think it tastes like a cherry cordial.
You say cherry cordial. I tasted it, and I can't untaste cherry cordial.
The cherry cordial. Yeah, like if you like cherry cordials,
yeah,
said it right the first time.
Yeah.
You need to go out and get some of this.
Yeah. Do you like cherry cordials?
Not really. But,
well,
this is fine. It's warm. It's caffeinated. It's coffee.
Yes. Yes. They had some, they had Jingle Bones, which was coconut and vanilla.
Coconut?
Yeah.
Oh, I love coconut.
Yeah, coconut caramel and vanilla.
Okay.
They had Nutcracker's Revenge, which is roasted chestnut, which I thought would be interesting. I thought that might have been good. I haven't tried it yet.
Oh, okay.
They have white peppermint mocha, of course. And then they had Fudge, which is
fudge.
all chocolate.
Gotcha.
So
cool.
That's all. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's one other, there's a place in Peoria called The Blend, and they do flavored coffee, and they do very good holiday flavored coffee, and it's different. It's not like that plastic, because they roast it all, they do it themselves, and they do a cherry cordial, and they do a creme brulee.
Does it taste like this?
No, it's actually cherry cordial, but this does have a cherry.
I think this tastes like cherry cordial.
I do taste it.
I mean, like,
I do taste the cherry
more than I don't taste any sugar cookie. I just taste cherry cordial.
I don't think I do either. When I was brewing it, definitely sugar cookie.
Okay.
Even when you like when I made it for Kia yesterday, I think, And yesterday, and she was like, "Oh, it smells just like a sugar cookie." I'm like, "Yeah, it does." But then when we both tasted it, we were like, "Yeah, we don't know if we're getting sugar cookie."
Yeah.
So
No, that's good though.
Yeah.
You know, especially if you're into flavored coffees. But anyway, breezing on by the holiday blend into Thanksgiving, what I thought would be fun.
okay.
We're playing this game. Okay, we're going to play a game called The Thank Off.
Oh,
The Thank Off. And so it's really a simple game. It's just going to be, I'm going to ask you, which of these two items are you more thankful for?
oh boy.
Okay, which of these two items are you more thankful for?
Okay.
And so it's really straightforward.
Okay.
You just tell me what you're more thankful for. All right, here we go.
All right.
Are you more thankful for socks or underwear?
Underwear.
When we say underwear, we're talking underpants.
Underwear. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. What about you? I mean,
Man, I think underwear, but man, socks, they're so important.
I can never find my socks
Do you ever go sockless in the world?
in my Crocs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. In my Tevas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I bet you them things stink.
They don't stink that bad.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
I don't have that. I pride myself in not having stinky feet.
Okay, it's not about having stinky feet. It's about your feet sweating.
Yeah,
and then
true. I don't sweat a lot.
but your feet don't sweat?
I mean, not that much.
Oh, okay. All right.
Now here's the thing. If I wore them out in the summer with no socks and I'm doing things and I'm sweat, I mean, of course I'm going to sweat.
Yeah.
But I don't do that.
I think I have to be more thankful for underwear too. I mean, just
Yeah,
the
for sure,
idea
dude.
of like not having, you know.
What are you going to do
anyway,
if you get skid marks and you don't have underwear on?
or you're going to get skid marks.
It's going to be on your jeans or your pants or whatever you're wearing, dude.
Yikes. Okay, all right. Are you more thankful for toilet paper or toothbrush?
Oh my gosh. Are you kidding me? I'm going
You're not living without one, but
I'm-
which one are you more thankful for?
I'm going more thankful for shoot. I'm going more thankful for toilet paper.
Yeah, no, dude, toothbrush. Can you imagine
I
life
don't
without
know, man.
toothbrushes?
No, I can't. But I can't imagine life without. Well, here's the thing. Here's a loophole here.
There's bidets.
Does dude wipes count as toilet paper?
No.
Then I'm more thankful for a toothbrush.
Yeah. Well, but I mean, we're just talking about what we're more thankful for. We're not giving one up forever.
Oh, okay.
You know? So you don't have to pick one or the other in the sense of like,
Okay,
what are
okay.
you going to live the rest of your life without?
Yeah,
but
'cause I
I'm way
can-
more thankful for my toothbrush.
I don't. That's
And
tough.
'cause,
That's a tough
Like,
one.
have you ever been stuck without a toothbrush?
It's miserable.
Yeah.
I won't even like. I can't even imagine like walking out the bathroom in the morning without brushing my teeth.
Rough. Anyway, all right. Are you more thankful for your eyebrows or your teeth?
Oh, my teeth for sure.
Yeah, teeth.
I don't
That's
care about
an
my
easy-
eyebrows
easy one.
really.
All right. Are you more thankful for soap or deodorant?
Deodorant.
Deodorant?
Yeah, for sure. I'll
Dude,
go deodorant.
I'm
what about you?
I'm all soap.
All soap.
Yeah, man. Like, and deodorant, not that I'm not thankful for deodorant, but I don't live a life where I'm needing deodorant all the time. Like, I wear it every day because I'm not a monster.
But you don't need it.
But I don't need it.
I
I
guess that's
sit
true,
at
too.
a desk, you know?
Yeah.
And so, like, but if I desperately need soap. I'm not a germaphobe, but I am germ aware. And so
So you're putting this into perspective.
I'm way more thankful for soap.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Are you more thankful for your fridge or your toilet?
Depends on what day it is. My toilet. I'm going to be more thankful for my toilet because it carries some weight. You hear me?
Yeah, that's well. I hear you. However, I will say this: in my backpacking experiences,
Yeah.
I've gone toiletless, and it's really not as bad as you'd think.
Oh man.
You know, it's not as bad as you think. And here's the thing, though, with I don't know how people survive without a refrigerator.
No, I mean I don't think you could.
I don't understand it. I
It'd be very difficult.
it's tough. Anyway,
Yeah,
all
I'm
right.
gonna go toilet for sure.
Are you more thankful for your house or your phone?
Oh, my house.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Are you more? Oh, this one's good. Are you more thankful for the shower or your bed?
Oh, you know what? my shower.
Yeah.
Because my bed is not going to be my bed without my shower. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing like jumping out of the shower and being all nice and clean and getting in the bed.
Dude, I don't go to bed dirty, but I would much rather get up and shower.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't have to go to bed clean.
Okay.
But there's just nothing like it. Like it's a luxury to me.
Yeah, that's true. I get that. I get it. All right. So
are you bed? More thankful for your bed?
Man, we got a new bed.
Nice.
Like, I don't know, a month and a half ago.
Yeah.
And we switched to a king size bed.
Oh, okay.
And it's been like, at first I was like, whatever. Get a new bed. That's fine. Makes Emily happy.
Yeah.
I'm happy.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Change your life.
It's so nice.
Bro.
There's so much space.
I don't know if I told you this. I got a new mattress in the summer. And also, like, I was just like, it's memory foam. It was comfortable enough. But, like, I've had this mattress for, like, over 10 years now. And it was a beast, and I hated it. And it was also just, it was time.
Yeah.
It was time to get a new one. And my back was killing me because it had, like, sunk in over time. And so, I got a new one. And at first I thought, no, okay.
One of those foam ones, the ones that come in a box?
Yeah, they came in a box.
Yep.
The sleep, whatever it's called. And now I have the best sleep of my life. Sleep of my life.
Yeah, I hate how it holds heat. Like, I really like to be cold when I'm sleeping.
Oh, me too, man.
But
me too.
it is pretty fantastic. So I'd probably say, I'd still go with the shower. I love a shower. Like, I just gotta have it.
Nothing like it, man.
One more, just for fun.
Okay.
Are you more thankful for electricity or indoor plumbing?
On my list of things that really grind my gears and things that I really, really hate, it's being without power.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to probably say I'm more thankful for electricity.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I'm going to go indoor plumbing, man.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's a tough one, dude. Because,
indoor plumbing is so convenient.
Yep.
So convenient.
Yep. I mean, I've been in situations where my water had to be turned off for whatever reason, and not because I didn't pay a bill, but just whatever reason. And, not being able to poo and flush the toilet. Dude, what the heck?
Yeah, I know. All of your toilet goes out the window, all that stuff.
Any flush you make, you should be thankful for.
Exactly. So, hey, there's lots of things to be thankful for. I am thankful for you, my friend Cody, and I am thankful
I'm thankful for you, bro.
I'm thankful for our listeners. I'm thankful for this podcast. I'm thankful for the chance that we get to just hang out and talk about different things. Dude. And I am excited about what we've been pitching for our Christmas series.
Yeah, me too.
So we're going to test drive the idea here and now with Thanksgiving. But I'm a big Christmas movie fan.
Yes.
You are a big Christmas movie fan.
Absolutely.
I'm kind of a purist in that I don't start watching Christmas movies for me until after Thanksgiving.
Okay.
The girls started watching Grinch as soon as the tree is up. They will watch the Grinch 5 times a week from now till Christmas.
Love it.
And it's not the Jim Carrey Grinch. It's not the old school Dr. Seuss one. It is the newest Grinch. And
I just don't like that one.
Oh, I do. I think it's funny.
Yeah. I think he did well with the Grinch, though.
Yeah. And
he did well.
And it's like the Grinch isn't quite so mean in that, And so, anyhow, what we thought would be fun was if we would take some of these Christmas movies we love and talk about the underlying human, spiritual, biblical, this is what God has wired into us message that there is in all of these movies.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's something to be said for art. There's something to be said for like literature, media, all of this stuff. We do, when you really dig into these stories that we love so much.
Yeah.
There is an element in there that we can pull out and we can understand, like, hey, this is something that art is teaching us about God.
Yep.
Because in God's image, we are made to be creators.
Absolutely.
And so when we create these things, you can see
Yep.
the fingerprints of God, even on things where people who had no intention of glorifying
Have
God.
no idea.
Yep.
And it's
Yep.
it's like that in so much.
Yeah, and
so
our
much.
very essence, the way that we create is a way that we reflect our Creator, whether
Yeah,
you
dude.
intended to or not. And so, I thought we would test drive that
Okay.
a little bit,
I like it.
see how it works.
I like it.
And we're going to look at the only 2 Thanksgiving movies.
Sad. It's sad.
Only 2.
Well, there is technically another one, but we just haven't watched it, right?
Yeah, no. I mean, and there's probably a few other Thanksgiving movies. Like
Probably.
There's the Thanksgiving movie that came out last year. That's like a slasher movie.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's called
No,
Thanksgiving.
it's called Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
Yeah, I'm not.
Won't
watching
watch that.
No
No
way.
way. No, keep it.
Yep, sure. So there's only 2 that are really worth mentioning,
Yeah, I agree.
and it's the Charlie Brown Thanksgiving
yeah,
and Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
absolutely.
If you've never watched
Dell Griffith.
Oh my goodness! If you've never watched either of them, we don't worry, we'll fill you in. But the first one I wanted to talk about was Charlie Brown Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
and I love this movie. I'm a big Charlie Brown fan,
Oh man, for sure.
and so the premise of the movie is that Charlie Brown has Peppermint Patty call him, and she invites herself over for Thanksgiving dinner, and she then invites her friends to come along with her. And so all of a sudden, unbeknownst to Charlie Brown, he's now hosting Thanksgiving lunch at his house. And he's actually planning on going to his grandmother's
Okay,
for
yeah.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And so he's like, I don't know how to make anything. I know how to make like toast and cold cereal.
My life.
And so what he ends up doing is Linus and Snoopy and everybody helps him pull together this meal where it's like popcorn and jelly beans and buttered toast
Yeah.
and cereal. This is what they eat. And Peppermint Patty throws a big fit because it's not a real Thanksgiving meal, but then she discovers, oh yeah, she invited herself over, all these things. But what I love about this story,
Yeah.
and it propelled me to this place with youth ministry where we don't do this anymore, but I used to do an event where it was basically a recreation of the Charlie Brown Thanksgiving, where you just bring something.
Yeah.
Bring whatever you can make.
Yeah.
If you want to make, like, if you're good at making stuff and you want to make something that's real and legit, bring something real and legit.
That's amazing.
But if you are an absolute loser when it comes to making food, bring a bag of jelly beans.
Bring some jelly beans.
Bring bag of chips. I don't care what you bring.
Yeah, yeah.
Just bring something, and it's like a potluck with teenagers, and it was a lot of fun.
That's amazing.
And what I think, like, the piece from that movie that I pulled out and that I was using with all of this was that you bring what you have
For sure.
to the table.
Yeah.
And you bring what you have to share. And it's the same way with the way that we've been wired by God. And we talk about, in our intro, is that God has created us for a purpose.
That's right.
He's given us a purpose. He's given us, I think that the fact that God gives us purpose is the greatest evidence of love that we have, because he loves us so much, not only to rescue us, but then to trust us in carrying out the gospel message to other people. That's crazy.
It is.
And it's incredible love, and it's a story of redemption, and there's all these pieces that come in there. But when it comes to Charlie Brown, you bring what you can to the table.
Yeah.
You bring what you can to share with the people around you. And they're doing that with food, but we also do that with our gifts, talents, and abilities.
Absolutely.
And sometimes we get so bogged down in, I don't know how to make turkey, or I don't know how to talk on stage, or I don't know how to lead worship. I don't know how to play in the band. I don't know how to, I don't know enough about scripture. I don't know, and there's all these things, these excuses that we make for ourselves, and we think to ourselves, I'm not somebody who has any business hosting a Thanksgiving dinner or sharing the gospel.
Wow.
There's somebody out there who's way more qualified than me. But really, what we're called to do is to bring what we can to the table.
That's right.
And everybody but Peppermint Patty was pretty content with that meal.
Yeah.
And in fact, there was a sense of pride with Charlie Brown and the people that were helping him pull this meal off, because it was them and they were doing it. And so I don't know. I think that the part of that story that I think is worth repeating in our own life is that God has given you something, and you ought to share it.
Absolutely.
And one of the ways that we express our gratitude is by sharing what we have. And no matter how big or small that may be, we bring it and we share it with other people for the glory of God. So,
man,
that's a little bit easier than playing trains and automobiles.
Well, yeah, because I think Charlie Brown is anointed. You hear me? I think that it's
Linus
just,
might be.
But I mean, there's just so much power packed that you can pull from any Charlie Brown that I just love. I love Charlie Brown.
Yeah,
I love it.
The Great Pumpkin's hard to. I'm trying to come up with a spiritual component there.
Yeah, I did watch the Thanksgiving one last year, but I didn't remember it. So you reminded me a lot of it. But man, yeah, I love the message of that. Just set the table.
Yep.
You know?
Set the table.
Set the table and come.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
Bring what you have. It's a
right.
beautiful, beautiful picture of you know what we have. I mean, it speaks to me. It kind of speaks to my heart a little bit, like what little I have, whatever it is, I need to share it.
Yeah.
I need to stop letting my insecurity get in the way of sharing what I feel like God gives me.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, and you know, on the other side of it too, when we would do that event at youth group, when I was in Mount Pulaski and Fort Wayne and Edinburgh, like what was cool about that was you watched these other kids bring what they have to share, and they're proud of sharing it.
That's beautiful, man.
And we have that a little bit at Hope. We've got a few kids that will bring something to share, and they're really excited about sharing that.
That's beautiful, dude.
You know, but when everybody has to bring something,
right,
and you can bring whatever you want, there are a few kids that they're just phoning it in, and they're, you know, bring a 2-liter of whatever, and that's fine. It's great.
Sure.
And then there's the occasional kid that brings in, you know, a stack of Casey's pizzas, because that's what they, you know.
But
like,
every place is represented. Every
right.
You know, everything is represented in some way.
Well, and that was what was funny is that you had some off the wall stuff, and then you had some kids like, I made my grandma's noodles. You know, or I make the best mashed potatoes. Yeah. Or, you know, I have this dessert that I'm really proud of. These are my chocolate chip cookies, or this is the pie that I tried to make. And sometimes it was really good, and sometimes it really wasn't.
Dude, that's incredible. You should bring it back.
No, we can't. We're not situated in such a way that we could pull that off.
That's true. I mean,
a small group or two could do it.
Absolutely,
you know, with their small group. But
I may pull that out with my small group. Yeah. We may not this week, but
next time
make that happen. Yeah,
that'd be fun. Yeah. So anyway, but that's that one. So why don't you've seen Planes, Trains, and Automobiles more recently than me. I usually watch that like the night before Thanksgiving. Yeah. So what summarize it for us.
I will try to summarize it for you. You got
Steve Martin, John Candy.
Steve Martin, John Candy. I forget now Steve Martin's character's name.
That doesn't matter.
But then you got Dell. And
Dale.
Steve Martin is obviously
his name is Dale, not Dell. All right,
whatever.
Dell is a computer. Dale.
I don't know what I'm saying. You know, it doesn't make me know. Never mind. Even when I'm hearing you say two different things, I'm hearing the same thing. Okay, my ears do even have a hillbilly accent.
Can you say ale?
Ale,
like
ale,
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 ale.
Am I saying it?
Yeah, like an ale, like or ale 8-1. Oh.
So Dale.
There you go. That's closer.
Really?
Dale.
Whatever.
My grandpa's name was Dale.
Was it Dale?
Yeah.
Okay. Whatever. So anyway, Steve Martin's character is in marketing.
Yep.
He's in business. It opens with him in the
really
big city.
Successful.
Really successful guy. He's trying to make it home for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, he lives in Chicago, right?
I think it was Chicago for sure. I think that's where he was at. Or no, he was flying from New York back to Chicago.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And so he's, obviously from the very beginning, he's struggling, can't get a cab. It's rush hour. It's holiday. It's,
John Candy steals his
John
cab.
Candy swoops in, steals the cab. All right. Well, then they meet each other in the airport, and he's like, I know you. And then they realize, yeah, you're the guy that stole my cab. And so what ensues is this really Just huge ongoing saga of debacles
Yep.
between the two of them trying to get home. There's a winter storm. There's car rental fiascos. There's, all kinds of different things that happen to them. And I mean, I don't want to give away the whole movie, I guess, for those who haven't seen it, but they end up, end up being friends.
Well,
it takes them a while.
Yeah.
It takes them a while. But then there's
It takes the whole movie, and you're not sure that they're friends until the very last
scene. Yeah. But you find out something about John Candy at the end.
Yeah.
That is kind of like a twist a little bit, where he talks about his wife throughout the whole movie. He talks about his love. I think it's like Maria or something like that. It starts with an M, I feel like. But and you realize after a while, like, I think the guy Steve Martin's character finally like puts it together in his head. Like, I think he's homeless, and he finds out that he is homeless and his wife's been dead for 10 years. So
yeah,
that was my summary.
I guess I didn't realize that he was homeless.
Yeah. Yeah. He said he's not had a home for, Dale said that he was homeless. Because he goes back into the train station.
I took that as like he didn't have, I guess, like a home to go. Yeah, that would make him homeless.
But he worked so hard, I guess. I don't know. I feel like I heard him say something where he made the statement like his life was his job or something like that.
Well, I mean, it would make sense now. Now that I'm replaying that part of the movie.
Yeah, when he goes back into the train station, he's like, "Where are you going? Like, where do you have to go?" And he's like, "I don't have anywhere." And that was that kind of this real somber moment of like, I don't have anywhere to go, and my wife's been dead for 10 years.
Yep.
And you get all this humor and all this because John Candy and Steve Martin are over the top.
Oh man, and there are just there are some scenes in there, and they're so good at it.
Oh man!
And John Candy only plays one guy. It's Uncle Buck in
one
something.
Guy, Uncle Buck.
Yep.
Yeah. The guy from Great Outdoors is one of my favorite comedies.
Oh man,
him and Dan Aykroyd.
Yep.
I mean, he's the same guy. That Buddy movie. He's the same guy in everything. And that's my future father-in-law, Kia's dad. That's his favorite movie of all time. Not just for
Great
the holidays.
Outdoors? Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Yeah.
And I texted him the other day. I was like, "Guess what I'm watching?" He's like, "Planes, Trains, and Automobiles."
It's a funny movie. It's definitely like, is it late 80s?
I want to say it was early 90s.
Was it? Okay.
Maybe. Yeah, I think it was like 91, 92, something like that.
I think it's older.
It could be 80s. Yeah.
Let me look. We'll look.
Well, I don't know when Candy died. When did John Candy die?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. But man, such a good movie.
Yeah, 87.
87. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
And John Candy, he died in 94.
94. Yeah.
At 43.
Yeah, that's tough. Imagine, like, we lost John Candy. We lost Chris Farley. We lost one of the Belushi brothers who was hilarious. Man, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
But anyway.
But yeah, well, the story there, what kind of takeaways you got there?
Well, I look at Steve Martin's character and I feel like there's definitely an arc, a character arc from him. It's not that he was necessarily a bad guy, but you could tell he was a selfish guy.
Oh yeah.
He was worried about him getting himself home. He was worried about getting back to his home, his family, his time, his money, everything was his.
Yeah, it was about him.
It was about him. And I think the arc of his story was really coming into his own of kindness and what it's like to show kindness to someone and maybe it's inconvenient to you, but you're showing kindness to someone who doesn't have a home like you have a home.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a job like you have a job.
Yeah.
He doesn't. So just looking at his character arc in the movie is what we can take away from just, not having that pride and not having that sense of so much self-worth that we forget what other people may be going through.
Right.
Yeah.
So self-centered that you're not
right.
You're not able to notice this. And that's one of the things, like with, Steve Martin's character at the end, you kind of see the lights come on for him and he's like, oh man, how did I not catch this?
Right.
I've been with this guy for the last couple of days and
he starts to kind of see it a little bit
that's when he gets, he goes back. But
he goes back to the hotel room and then he's like, I'm getting one room for me. You pay for your own room.
Yeah.
And then he realizes John Candy is sitting out in his car in the winter, in the snow, in the cold, because he don't have the money to get a room. And he's sitting in the warmth with a room, and he's finally starting to ease up, and he's like, he opens the door. He's like, you're going to freeze to death out there. And so he starts kind of easing in, and you can see that character switch a little bit, you know. But,
Yep. No, he's not hateful.
Right.
But he's definitely selfish.
Yes.
And doesn't want to be inconvenienced by another person.
Yeah, not a bad guy. You could tell he's very family oriented.
Yep.
He's wanting to get back to his wife.
Yep.
He's wanting to get back to his kids. But it's that I'm in this me bubble, and I'm going to worry about me and don't inconvenience me.
Right. Well, and the other thing, in true John Candy fashion, he's very inconvenient. You know, he's very
inconvenient.
Yep. So he's the most inconvenient kind of person. And then, you know, like the rental car scene, like that is one of those ones that, like, because you get to see Steve Martin's character beyond John Candy, and you still see him being really selfish and self-centered. And I think what you're saying is right on there, where it's like at the expense of other people.
Right.
He's gonna be about himself.
Absolutely.
And whether it's self-pity or it's self-preservation, it doesn't matter. Like, so the rental car thing, it's all about self-pity.
Right.
You know, and preservation, you have that throughout. But I think you're right there. The other thing that I would think about is, the reality of we don't know everybody's story.
Absolutely.
And a lot of times we offer judgment instead of willingness to hear somebody out, or not even hear them out, because it's not our place to judge, but it is our place to come alongside them and understand, that this is a human person living a human experience. And I think about Jesus and the woman at the well. Yeah. Her on the outside to everybody else going on. Right. It was very clear that this woman had some big time character flaws or problems. Yeah. That was the way that everyone perceived her. Right. But Jesus didn't shy away from that. Mm-hmm. I mean, he exposes the truth of the matter, like, hey, this is something that needs to be talked about, but also this doesn't define you. Yeah. There's still hope for you yet. Yeah. And in fact, I'm that hope. And, you have an opportunity to be in a right relationship with God, and Jesus is that hope. And he offers that to her despite her situation. And he was willing to actually have a conversation to get there. And you look at his disciples, their reaction response to that was very much, what are you doing? You know? And instead, he has this conversation. He's able to level with her on a place where she understood that he cared about her. Yeah. And I think that at some level, she had to have understood that he even loved her. Yeah. And from there, she goes and she tells her village, and, they come and they meet Jesus, and everybody's, lives are changed because they meet Jesus, and it's crazy. Yeah, man. But, you tie that into this John Candy situation and how we interact with people around us. Yeah. What if we would withhold judgment long enough to understand somebody in hopes that maybe by getting to know their story, we're able to share the story of Jesus with them in such a way where they're able to receive it. Yeah, man. And in the movie, he carries that trunk everywhere he goes. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people are carrying trunks of stuff that are weighing them down and really, really, like, and all we have to, I mean, is there a cheese button? Because that's. I was serious. I was too. It was too easy. It was. I know. I saw it. I was like, oh man, if he was doing a sermon on stage, he'd been pulling out a trunk. Oh, absolutely. He's like, everybody's got baggage. We all got a trunk. We're carrying around like trunk. John Candy, and but we do. Oh gosh! All right. Ridiculous. Oh man. Well, and there's truth to that. We've all got something that we're carrying around. We're all trying to figure these things out. Yeah. And the reality is, some people have more baggage than others. Absolutely. And And I'm not telling you to go out and put yourself in a situation where you know it's not a good situation for either of you.
Right.
But I am suggesting that sometimes we look at a person, we look at their very apparent baggage.
Yeah, man.
And we pass judgment without being willing to extend friendship.
Dude, I think
and kindness, really.
I think one of the biggest, I guess I would say change. One of the biggest changes I feel like I've had in my life is trying to see someone's why. Like, why are you acting this way? And I think it kind of plays into working in a school.
Sure.
And not ever realizing that every kid has a story.
Yeah.
And this kid who's a complete butthole, like, they're probably not really a butthole. There's probably something going on, and there's a why that's happening. And then when you find out the why, you're like, wow. Okay.
Yeah. And it doesn't make it doesn't make it right.
It doesn't make it right.
It doesn't make it right.
Not justifiable.
Right.
But,
and that's an important distinction, because a lot of times what happens is when somebody hears a message like this, everybody's got baggage, everybody's got problems. You need to extend a little bit of grace and get to know that person before you pass judgment.
Not saying that.
No, there is the sense too of being like, hey, I see what you got going on here.
Yeah.
But you still got to clean some things up. Right. But unfortunately, like, you can't say that to somebody until you actually figure out all that's broken.
Right.
So when you get to know somebody's why, it's not to justify their behavior.
Absolutely.
But it does give you the permission to then say, hey, I understand where you're coming from, but I need you to know it's still not right.
Yeah, man. That's spot on. Absolutely.
And it's easier to say that to a kid than it is to
it is. It is
much
peer, and it's much easier to figure out. I think kids are just much easier to figure out in that sense, and how we can support that, and hold them accountable than it is for adults, because adults, they don't want to open up that trunk.
Ooh.
And
then they've gotten to the point too, like, this is who I am, accept me.
Yes.
Yes. And I don't know why we become that way.
Yeah.
Where we're really content with just who we are.
Yeah.
And, I don't know. And I get it. It's hard to grow.
Yeah.
And it's hard to be open to growth.
Yeah.
But, I really hope that I'm different in 10 years than I am now.
Dude, absolutely. I never want to get to the place where I say I've made it.
Right.
Ever.
Right.
Ever.
Or even this is just who I am.
Right.
And
I think even looking at our process in our life of this ongoing daily salvation, this ongoing process of sanctification, I don't believe we'll ever get there until we're actually there.
Yeah.
So I never want my heart to be in a place where I'm like, yeah, I did it. I've made it.
Yeah.
I'm so blessed, because I feel like that's where I was before, where I believed that I was good and I made it, and I really wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it's a heart check. Like, if I'm acting that way, okay, Lord, humble me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to pray that, but that's a scary prayer.
I don't want to ever pray that prayer.
Craig Groeschel said it was a dangerous prayer to pray. Break me, search me and break me. Like, okay, it is dangerous.
That's not. But I will not sign up for that one.
Yes, yeah. So yeah, man. I never want to get to a place where I'm like, yeah, I made it. I always want to, like, Lord, if you shine a light over here, then shine your light everywhere, because I want you to open up every dark room, every shadow. I want you to take me. If you get me here, okay, then take me there.
Yeah.
Well,
so back to our two movies.
Yeah.
I got a couple ideas for listeners, and something that we can take away from all of this conversation.
Okay.
And when you think about these two movies, if you've seen them, awesome. If you haven't, we've kind of given you an idea that don't watch Plane, Trains, and Automobiles
with children.
Yeah.
Is it rated? It's rated R.
Oh,
right?
It's rated R.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Yep.
Just because of the one scene, probably.
There's a lot of F words in one scene. But anyway, so I think the thing, though, that we can be thankful for here, and these two movies do prompt a certain amount of thanksgiving.
Yeah.
The first one, Charlie Brown Thanksgiving does prompt us to be thankful for what we have and what we can bring to the table.
Absolutely.
Be thankful for what you've been given.
Yeah, man.
And be so thankful that you are generous then in with what you have. So that kind of Thanksgiving should prompt some level of generosity. And that's what we do when we are aware of what we have and we're willing to share it.
Yeah.
The other side with this, planes, trains, and automobiles, I think the part of Thanksgiving that brings about is, number one, be thankful for the person who sees you, baggage and all, and loves you anyway.
Wow.
And cares for you anyway.
Yeah.
Be thankful for that person. If you have that person,
yeah,
that it is in your corner, that cares about you. It might be a parent, it might be a sibling, it might be a friend, it might be a spouse, it might be whoever that is. And you might have multiple people. It might be a pastor.
Yeah.
The people that are alongside you who see the trunk, as
You're welcome.
yeah, geez.
Somebody out there liked it.
I doubt it. Anyway, somebody who sees your baggage and loves you,
Yeah.
not in spite of it, but loves you for. I'm trying to come up with the word here instead of, because it's not in spite of, because they're not just overlooking your baggage.
Right.
It's not because they don't love you because you're broken,
Right.
but they love you because of who you are.
Right.
And there has to be that level of care there, and that person prompts us to be thankful for that person. Yeah. And I think the other thing, on the flip side of that, it gives us an opportunity to be thankful for the people in our life who sometimes feel like a burden. Yeah. But we also can look through that situation and realize and recognize that God might be using us in the lives of somebody else to be there for them. So,
yeah, man.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
What's wrong?
You make me cry.
Why?
You just do.
Okay.
God is good. I mean, just what you say is just true, and it's just beautiful. And I know I said I was thankful for you earlier, but I'm really truly thankful that you're that friend in my life. You met me when I was in a really dark place and really broken, and you loved me, and you were my friend no matter what. And you took me into your home. You invited me to Thanksgiving, and you didn't have to. And that was one of the most lonely years of my life. And I'll just never forget it. And, I love you.
I love you too, man.
I'm sorry. But,
What are you sorry for?
Because I always
crying? It's all right, man. I'm surrounded by a lot of people that cry.
I just didn't expect it,
I love you too, man. And
My
I'm very
mom the other
thankful
day,
for
she's
you.
like, I'm really concerned. You cry a lot. I'm like, well, it's not a bad cry. Like, it just, God's just done some work in my heart, man. And, but yeah, you were explaining that, and it just kind of came full circle, that I'm really thankful that you're that friend in my life.
Yeah.
And I remember, I'll never forget, you asking me, if I wanted to help lead a small group at youth group. And I remember saying, dude, you know what I've done? Like, you realize what I'm going through. And you're like, I love you, and I think you'd be great.
Yeah.
And I'm like, who is this guy? Like,
Well,
who is
yeah.
this dude?
And that's we talked about, I barely hit on it there, but that not in spite of, because
Right.
I think that when we say that you love somebody in spite of their flaws,
Yeah.
it means that, I think sometimes it means that we're either ignoring their flaws or, we're
Right,
saying that we're not giving validity to their flaws or whatever
Right.
these things are, or, whatever that is. But, I think that when you truly love somebody,
Yeah, man.
you extend a certain level of grace that's appropriate.
Yeah.
But then the other piece of it is you're able to see through all of that to the person that is there. And you're not defined by the mistakes you make.
Yeah.
You're also not defined by your wins either.
That's true.
Instead, you're defined by who Jesus is and who he says we are.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
you
And that's a journey in itself of being in that middle and realizing that you are who Jesus says you are. You are who you are in Christ, and not what you do, not what you accomplish or don't accomplish or fell at, or And that's a really tough road to get through.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes it's not for people, but it was a tough road for me.
Well, and you know, on this side of it, it's easy for me to look back on that time and be like, yeah, dude, that was like a no-brainer thing, you know, to ask you to be a smart group leader and to, you know, to be able to see what was going on in your life. And, you know, the reality is then and now, God's doing a redeeming work in your life.
Yeah.
And he's doing one in mine too.
Yeah.
And in your situation a few years ago, when we first met and this whole thing got started, the redeeming work was very prevalent and prominent because there had been something that felt like it needed to be redeemed.
Sure. Right.
You know, right now.
For sure.
And it was pressing and it felt like redemption was far off.
Yeah, yeah.
But the process is still ongoing.
Oh, man.
And so,
for sure.
you know, now your life looks a little bit different.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that God's not
It's
redeeming.
a continuing absolutely.
Continuous
That's
redemption.
beautiful.
And that's what this podcast is about. That like
Absolutely
God
is.
is continuously redeeming you. You don't have to go out and be a colossal failure this week
Yeah.
in order to hear a bad apple's story and be
That's
like,
right.
oh man, there's hope for me on the other side of this.
Absolutely
The
right.
reality is you could have been walking in step with the Lord for the last 25 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you still need to be reminded that the Lord is still redeeming you
Every day.
every day. There's my mom and I were talking. We went and visited my grandparents and in Iowa, and she and I were talking in the car, and I was telling her about this year at Passion where Beth Moore and John Piper were both preaching.
Wow.
And they used to do that a lot, like in my era of going to Passion Conference as a
I was
student.
thinking of someone else. Never mind. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. But they would preach often together. Now, they don't do that anymore.
Okay.
But John Piper always had the afternoon slot
Okay.
on like our long day, which was terrible because they'd feed us lunch. John Piper would talk, and like most people just fall asleep.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because he's really deep and he's really old and all those other things. But then one year, so he did the afternoon slot, and then the evening slot on that Saturday or whatever it was Beth Moore. And I will not forget, I don't remember what she talked about, but I do remember she got on the stage and she looked over at John Piper and she said, John, do you ever just like get excited that we're almost there? We're almost there, meaning that we've almost finished the race.
Yeah.
Like we are in the stage of life where we can see the finish line,
Wow.
which number one, I was like, well, Beth Moore is older than I thought she was. If
Yeah.
she's willing to say those kind of things.
How old is she? I didn't know.
I don't know exactly, but she
Yeah.
was old enough that she felt
She could
like
say that.
Yeah, she was
Interesting.
one of the old people on stage.
Okay.
Her and John were the two oldest.
Wow. All right.
Even older than Louis, I guess.
Yeah.
but-
wow, I know John was old.
Anyway, but it just, and she said that she wants to run the race in such a way that she arrives tired. And I just thought how counter-cultural to everything that
Absolutely.
we are fed just from the American dream and all these other things.
Yeah,
is
for
that,
sure.
you know, that you would arrive tired.
Yeah.
That like when you would finish the race, you would finish with nothing left.
Yeah, man.
And this is it. And that's that continuous redeeming work
Yeah, man.
that I'm not going to sit back on my laurels and, you know, and be like, hey, everything is good.
Right.
And I've achieved all of these great things. Instead, I'm going to continue to put myself in positions where the Lord can change me and shape me and use me so that when I reach the end, I arrive tired.
That's beautiful.
And like it's like one of those it wasn't anything. I don't remember what she talked about.
Right.
And that part I don't think had anything to do with what she talked about.
Right.
But it was just an aside. And then, you know, after that talk, I went and read "Don't Waste Your Life" by, you know,
John Piper.
by
Yeah.
John Piper. And if you want your toes stepped on, go read that book.
Sure. Yeah.
But it's a holy toe stepping on, and I just, you know, that's another one of those things where you read that and you're like, wow, it's like there is no arrival. So take the pressure off.
That's right. That's right.
You don't have to feel pressure to have arrived at some point at this holy place. But the other piece is like there is no arrival. So put the pressure on you're never there.
Yeah.
Like, continue to let the Lord change you and use you and shape your life to bring him glory. And I love hearing stories about people that should have just, been done
Yeah, man.
by now.
Yeah.
Like, they should have been done with what the Lord has been putting in front of them.
Yeah.
And they just keep saying yes. I mean, like, my grandma, I just talked about we went and visited her and my grandfather. So my grandpa, he has dementia. He's now on hospice care. We're at this point, I think we're all kind of praying for mercy for him, just because he can't remember things. And, so that's his story. But my grandma's story is like the total opposite, where she was really adamant about living alone, like in their house and living in her house. And then this past summer was really rough for her health-wise, and she ended up moving into an assisted living home at the end of the summer.
Yeah.
And we've all kind of encouraged Grandma to try that because we thought it would be good for her, because she's a really social person. She's still got a lot to offer. Like, she is not, like, her memory is really good. It's really strong. Like, she moved into this place, and it has been so cool to watch her just kind of return to more of her old normal self.
Yeah, yeah.
But then on top of that, she seizes this opportunity. There's a piano. My grandma's played piano for years. She led worship at church. There's this piano that's in the lobby every night after dinner.
Wow.
They sing hymns every night.
Wow, that's
There's
awesome.
12 of them. 12 of these old people that, are singing hymns. And up until a few weeks ago, she was adamant about moving back to her house out in the country. But then she came to this realization that God is using her where she's at to bless other people and to be blessed.
That's amazing.
That's
amazing.
It's something that's feeding her
Absolutely, it is.
spirit as well. But like, she is an encouragement to other people, even in the later parts of her life.
Man.
I mean, like, she's in the the winter season
Absolutely.
of her life.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
God is still using her to do great things and be a blessing to other people. And I just hope that, like,
Man.
I live my life in such a way that is true of me too. And if you're listening to this and you're maybe in your autumn to winter years of life, live in such a way that you arrive tired.
Man, that's beautiful.
And because the Lord's still doing a redeeming work in you, even right now. So,
yeah, if you have a pulse, you have a purpose.
oh, there we go. That's better than the trunk.
It is better than trunk.
That's right.
Man, that's amazing.
Well, that turned out pretty good.
That was pretty good.
All right.
That was pretty good. Hey, before we go, got some cool stuff to share with you.
Oh, okay.
In December, we're going to kick off. I know we talked about this. It was on the podcast preview earlier. We talked about doing our fresh picked bonus episodes.
Oh, yeah.
All right,
yeah.
we'll have some bonus content for you. 20 to 30 minute episodes extra we're going to throw at you. Maybe a couple times a month, maybe once a month. But the first up was going to be The Wrestler. But we're just still trying to work on scheduling because he's now a cop. So he's just trying to work out his schedule and what that looks like. But a friend of mine, he's from West Virginia.
Of course he
moved out here to St. Louis.
Oh.
He's pastoring Twin Rivers Church.
Okay.
And he just released what is, I think I saw, is the #1 best-selling Christian evangelical book out right now. It's called Hope After Church Hurt.
Okay.
And man, phenomenal speaker. And I just texted him. I said, "Hey man, what would it look like to get you on the podcast for like maybe a 30-minute interview? Talk about the book a little bit, walk through that, because it's a very redeeming story. And the one thing I want to do with that bonus content is really highlight some redemption stories.
Yeah.
So he's gonna do it, man.
That's awesome.
We got it, and it's coming in December. So I'm looking forward to that. Pastor Joe Dobbins of Twin Rivers Church. So I'm pumped about it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So,
I'm excited about that too.
And I got a New Year's resolution. I'm already kicking out.
Are you gonna camp outside?
I'm going to learn. Never did that, by the way.
I know you didn't.
I'm going to learn full songs on guitar.
Whoa.
Because I have to. You want to know why?
Why?
I bought myself a Christmas gift.
Your guitar?
I did.
Another one?
I did buy another one.
Okay.
And I thought if I buy this, I'm going to play it more because of what it is.
Oh, okay.
It's a Martin.
Oh, nice.
I got a Martin guitar.
Dang.
Yeah, one of the X series. So it was the cheaper. It's the cheaper Martin.
Sure.
Not a solid wood. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's a Martin.
That's right.
So I'm really pushing myself. I'm gonna learn all the Johnny Cash songs I can learn.
Is it a black guitar?
It is. It's black with sunburst and it's called a Zeracote burst on the back, and it's got this. It's just beautiful. Like they call it high pressure laminate wood. I've learned so much about guitars and stuff in the past week, 2 weeks. But
I love it.
I was like, man, yeah.
Well, how about this? Like to add a little extra pressure to your learning the songs.
All right.
If you don't learn a song on guitar by the end of 2025, I get your new Martin.
You'll get my old guitar.
No, come on now. You got to put the pressure on.
That is pressure. But
I don't have a Martin. I only have Taylor's.
Okay. Well, Taylor's, they're phenomenal too.
I know, but it'd be nice to have a Martin.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm gonna have to get like guitar lessons and stuff. Michael Copley said he would maybe help me.
It's not hard. It's really not. I mean,
that it's always so.
It's just practice.
My mom played guitar. All my family is pretty musical, and one of my dreams was always to play a Martin guitar, and I wanted to learn on a Martin. And I thought I'm gonna make this investment. I'm gonna buy myself a Christmas gift. I got straight A's in college. I'm gonna get myself something.
There we go.
So I did it.
Very cool.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited.
Yeah,
dude.
It
sounds like I'm gonna get a Martin guitar next year.
Yeah. Or we start playing guitar together and start a band.
There we go. So
the Bad Apples Band.
That's right, the Bad Apples Band.
Oh man, but yeah.
All right. Well, I love it. Hey, tell the people what they want to hear.
Hey, God loves us first. God loves us best, and God loves us most. This is the Bad Apples Podcast.